welcome to the GameTime Sports Show on Duquesne Student TV, Duquesne Student Radio, and the GameTime Sports YouTube channel. My name is Brendan Flato, and I'm excited to bring you today's show. Hope everyone had a great weekend watching that Olympic U.S. hockey game, but we've got a lot to cover today with topics including some breaking news, an MLB team signing an 11-year-old for almost $2 million, a recap of the best high school basketball playoff in the country, a sit-down interview with a college baseball player, a breakdown of a 14-round shootout in minor league hockey, and so much more. We start our show today with some breaking news. On February 20th, Bill Mazeroski passed away. For more on the story, I traveled to the North Shore.
On February 20th, 2026, Bill Mazeroski, MLB and Pittsburgh Pirates legend, suddenly passed away. Bill Mazeroski was best known for his glove, playing every season with the Pirates and solidifying himself as one of the best second basemen in MLB history. But what he might be most known for is his Game 7 walk-off home run to win the Pirates the World Series. It is the only home run of its kind.
Art Ditbar throws. Here's a swing and a high fly ball going deep to left. Yes, they do it. Back to the wall goes Berra. It is over the fence. Home run. The Pirates win.
Of course, the seventh game of the 1960 World Series, when he hit the home run, and my mother and dad were actually at the game. They won a lottery, and they got tickets to the seventh game of the World Series against the Yankees, and everybody laughed at them and said, there's not going to be a seventh game. But they were there sitting in the bleachers, and everlasting memory, and we tended all my mother's pans up on the avenue after the game, banging them together.
Mazeroski played 17 seasons in the big leagues, all with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he was a native of Wheeling, West Virginia, which is nearby Pittsburgh. He earned a ton of gold gloves during his career, and in 2001, he was inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame.
He had a trick. He has a record for the most double plays in the majors, but he would never catch the ball at second base. He would trap it on the back of his glove. That's how he had the quick release to first base.
We just heard how Bill Mazeroski changed the double play forever with a little trick that looked like this. It's where you catch the ball on the back of your glove so you can turn the double play even faster, because every half second matters when the runner's running down the baseline. And that's why Bill Mazeroski was the greatest double play turner in baseball history. Outside the right field gate at PNC Park sits a Bill Mazeroski statue commemorating his legendary home run. Fans have been coming to this statue all day to pay homage to the baseball great. Bill the Glove Mazeroski was 89 years old. For GameTime Sports, I'm Brendan Flato.
Now for this week's version of the Untelevised. In this week's episode, we will take a look at how the Philadelphia Phillies just signed an 11-year-old for over $1 million. The Phillies front office is already investing in the club's long-term future, and one move is particularly turning heads. Multiple reports say the Phillies have reached a $1.8 million pre-agreement with 11-year-old Venezuelan shortstop David Basabe. Basabe is a member of the 2031 international signing class. If it holds, that deal would make Basabe the youngest player ever to secure a pre-agreement with a Major League Baseball organization. International scouting has been a crucial pathway for building elite farm systems, with each team working from a fixed international bonus pool to chase talent around the world. In that environment, clubs are getting more aggressive every year, and this Basabe agreement appears to push that trend to a new extreme. Reporter Wilbur Sanchez, who first detailed the agreement on social media, called it the new benchmark in the international market, and one of baseball's most ambitious bets of Basabe's generation. The Phillies are effectively staking a piece of their 2031 international budget on the belief that Basabe's tools will continue to develop and that they can lock in a future impact shortstop before rival teams step in. For now, though, that future storyline sits in the background. Basabe cannot sign for years, and pre-agreements like this are non-binding, which means a lot can change before 2031. The Phillies' immediate focus is far closer to home, trying to get the current team ready in spring training, sharpening a roster built around established stars, and trying to finally finish the job in October. The Philadelphia Catholic League playoffs truly show how much the city cares about its high school basketball. Over 35,000 people crowded the sacred halls of the Palestra to see the semifinals and championship game. 4 high-powered teams entered, but at the end, it was Father Judge standing atop once again. This is where we head for our PA High School Sports Report. The Crusaders entered the postseason as the 6th seed, searching for the spark that eluded them during a streaky regular season. That moment came in the semifinals against Archbishop Wood. After falling behind 19-3 in the opening minutes, Judge refused to fold. Senior leader Derek Morton Rivera took control, hitting clutch shots and fueling an 11-0 run that tied things up by halftime. Behind their defense and poise, the Crusaders completed the comeback 52-46, a win built on hustle, discipline, and belief in a process. On the other side of the bracket, Newman Goretti reminded everyone why they've been a long-time Catholic League standard. In their semifinal against Bonner Prendergast, the Saints battled through foul trouble and early deficits before rallying behind the surprise return of senior guard Stephen Ashley Wright and a breakout performance from junior Marquise Newsom. Wright, coming off a leg injury, brought instant stability, while Newsom poured in 19 points, 10 of which came in the fourth quarter, to lift the Saints to a 64-60 victory and set up a dream matchup at the Palestra. Newman Goretti versus Father Judge, South Philly versus the Northeast. On Championship Sunday, it was Father Judge's turn to make history. Guided by head coach Chris Rowantree, the Crusaders held off Newman Goretti 55-52 to capture their second straight title and the first back-to-back crowns in school history. Morton Rivera led the way with 14 points. Nasir Tyler added 12, and the supporting cast of Max Molshansky, Rocco Westfield, and a group of fearless underclassmen crashed the boards relentlessly, out-rebounding the Saints 38-18. When Newman Goretti cut the lead to 1 in the final seconds, Westfield calmly drained 2 free throws to seal the win and touch off a jubilant celebration. Rowantree credited his players, his staff, and the brutal schedule that shaped them for this moment. After an up-and-down year, belief and togetherness once again carried Father Judge to Catholic League glory, proving that the process really does pay off. For this week's Duquesne Sports Update, we will take a look at the 2 home basketball games played this past week at the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse. Inside the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, there's a classic PA rivalry. The ice-cold LaSalle Explorers made the trip across the turnpike for a battle with Terrence Ginyard and the flaming hot Duquesne Dukes. Justin Archer and the 7-19 Explorers were poised to battle with Jakob Netjes and the 16-10 Duquesne Dukes. In this one, Duquesne's three-point shot was colder than a frozen Allegheny River, with the team shooting just 3 for 20 from beyond the arc. Luckily for the Dukes, David Dixon was great again. He led the team in points and picked up his 74th career win as a Duke, the most in program history. Following the game, Coach Drew Joyce III started his opening statement of the press conference by thanking Dixon for what he has done for Duquesne.
I just want to publicly thank David Dixon. It's a genuine good person, man. Genuine good person. And those things, you guys get to see it show up on the court. I get to see it every day. The battles that he's overcome, right? He early in his years, he battled through injuries, right? I mean, you guys wouldn't believe some of the knees, both knees that he continued to play, right? Dave never, I won't say he never missed a game, but he never shut it down. When most guys in today's game would shut it down and opt for surgery, Dave just tried to figure out a way to make that happen, made it to the off season, right? And in return, he didn't have a lot of off season, didn't have those opportunities to work on his game and improve up until basically this past summer he was healthy and he He puts a lot of time into his health. This guy shows up, and he's had just unbelievable success. We wouldn't be where we are as a program without just, like I said, his dedication and hard work. So big shout out to Dave.
With just a few seconds to go and Duquesne trailing by 1, Dixon grabbed the rebound, passed to Alex Williams, and then to Ginyard, who took it coast to coast for the win. Following the game, I asked Dixon and Coach Joyce about the internal clock that players have in that moment. As a player, do you have like an internal clock of how long it takes you to get down the court in those kinds of situations and what kind of moves you can pull as you're going down the court?
That is a great question. I don't know. I think I actually got the rebound. I gave it to TG, but it's okay. No, I think most players can get down the court in like maybe 3 to 4 seconds if you're running as fast as you can. But I don't know what kind of moves he was planning on doing. Probably just a little crossover, just trying to get. I think he was just trying to get in front of people as fast as he could. So probably just a little push dribble. Left to right.
You're asking the wrong guy.
I got handles a little bit. I was on use it. You know what I'm saying?
Final here from the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse. The Dukes take down the Explorers by a final score of 62-61. It was a game-winning layup from Terrence Ginyard right over here at this basket. Dave Dixon with the rebound found Terrence Ginyard. Ginyard went coast to coast against the full press and made a layup plus the foul. He would intentionally miss the foul shot, and Duquesne would win. But it was a great night here in the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse. Great crowd. They really got into it there late. You heard the Let's Go Dukes chants in the final 2 minutes. You heard the crowd erupt as Ginyard went down the floor, made the layup to give Duquesne a much-needed win against LaSalle, who currently sits third to last in the Atlantic 10 standings. Duquesne, they were fourth. They're looking for that double bye heading into the Atlantic 10 tournament right across the street at PPG Paints Arena in March. But obviously a huge win. You'll take them any way you can get them. In the post-game press conference, Dave Dixon and Coach Drew Joyce spoke. Coach Drew Joyce opened it up, as we've heard earlier in this package, talking about the impact that Dave Dixon has on this Duquesne squad. He's the only player who's been here for all 4 years that's currently on the team, so definitely an impressive guy and a role model for the rest of the team to look after. For Game Time Sports, my name is Brendan Flato. At the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, it was a chance to make a statement for two teams gearing up for the Atlantic 10 tournament, as VCU traveled to Pittsburgh for a matchup with Duquesne. Katrina Nesevich and the 8-20 Rams came in looking to make a statement against the sharp-shooting Mackenzie Blackford and the Dukes, who were 3-1 in their last 4. Alexis Bordas was unstoppable in this one for Duquesne. She scored 27 points and shot 7 for 9 from 3. This performance was good for her 8th 20-point game of the season. Following the game, Bordas talked about how she keeps going, even when she doesn't think she is shooting her best.
Honestly, I shot really bad in shoot-around, so guess I got all my misses out early. But all my teammates and coaches have been so encouraging, even when I have a bad shooting game. Like the last 2 games, I didn't shoot my best, so they've always been so encouraging, though, and that just gives me confidence to keep shooting. And obviously, I know I've put in enough work to be confident in myself and to take those shots.
Brandon Green has also been key to the Duke's success lately. She is scoring the ball well, but most importantly, she is dominating the boards. After the game, I asked her about her mentality.
Brandon, you've been grabbing a lot of offensive rebounds recently. What's kind of your mindset offensively in the rebound category?
To just attack. I mean, Coach Bell, Coach Burr, all the coaches are, that's one of our things that we're trying to emphasize is rebounding. And I decided to step up and take on that role. And that's it.
In the third quarter, Duquesne called a timeout. Following the timeout, Bordas hit a 3. Then Blackford did as well. After the game, I asked Coach Dan Burt what the message was.
There in the third quarter, near the beginning of it, when the game was still kind of close, you guys had a timeout, and then Bordas came out of the timeout, hit a 3, and then a little bit later, Mackenzie Blackford hit one and Bordas again. What's kind of the message during those timeouts?
It just depends on which timeout it was. With Mac, she was 0 for 7 to start, and for Mac, it was keep shooting. With Mac and Alexis, it's always shoot it. Now there might be a little correction: hold your follow through, don't hesitate, whatever mechanically or technique-wise that they may need to work on. But when those two are on, and they've been on more than they've been off over the last 4 or 5 games, we become a lot more difficult to stop.
Final from the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, the Dukes take down the Rams by a final score of 72-61. It was a dominating performance offensively for the Dukes. It was close at the halftime break and then a little bit there in the early third quarter, but then second half of the third quarter and the fourth, the Dukes really started to pull away. Bordas led all scorers with 27, and Raina Green led the Dukes with rebounds with 9, 5 of those offensive, which is huge for a team's offensive game if you have somebody who's dominating the offensive glass and giving you those second chance opportunities all the time. That's going to wrap it up here from the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse. For Game Time Sports, I'm Brendan Flata.
They were the recaps of those Duquesne home sporting events. Shout out Jason Obremski and Will McDonald for capturing the clips during the games for that content. I very much appreciate it. But on to our next segment. At Pagula Ice Arena, it was deja vu for Ohio State and another statement for Penn State freshman phenom Gavin McKenna. One night after leading the Nittany Lions in a blowout win over Buckeyes, McKenna delivered again on Saturday, scoring the overtime winner in a 5-4 thriller as Penn State erased a 3-goal deficit to complete the weekend sweep. It didn't start well for the home team. Ohio State struck first, then built a 4-1 lead by the middle of the stages of the second period, even cashing in on a shorthanded goal to quiet the building. But with plenty of time left, Penn State chipped away. J.J. Wybush cut the lead to 2 late in the second. Then in the third period, he scored again as the Nittany Lions buried 2 goals in just 37 seconds to pull within 1 and swing momentum back their way. Moments later, Jared Crespo tied it at 4, setting the stage for overtime, and that's when McKenna took over. Working essentially 1-on-3 in the Ohio State zone, he used his unique flashy skills to protect the puck, created just enough space, and ripped home the game-winning goal, finding the perfect angle to beat the goaltender and send Pagula into a frenzy. Afterward, McKenna said he saw a one-on-one matchup he liked and trusted himself to make the play. He spoke with confidence, which is quickly becoming his trademark. With the win, Penn State locks themselves into at least a top 4 seed in the Big Ten tournament and guarantees a home series in the first round, with the Nittany Lions currently sitting firmly in the number 3 spot. Next up is one final road trip of the regular season. Penn State will visit Notre Dame next weekend, with the Irish struggling at the bottom of the Big Ten standings. Last Sunday, an ECHL minor league hockey game in Wheeling simply refused to end. The Nailers and Reading Royals skated to a 2-2 tie through regulation and overtime, then went all the way to a 14-round shootout before Reading finally escaped with a 3-2 win. This is where we head for our PA Pro Sports Report. Reading jumped in front early in the first period. Jeremy Michaels the puck back defenseman Victor Hatfield at the left point, and his wrist shot found its way through traffic into the net for a 1-0 Royals lead. From there, the defenses took over, and the teams went more than 40 minutes without another goal. Wheeling finally broke through just over 4 minutes into the third. Tanner Andrew feathered a perfect pass into the crease, and Mike Posama tapped it home to tie the game at 1. The Royals quickly answered on a power play less than 2 minutes later, with Kyle Haskins ripping a wrist shot into the top left corner to restore Reading's lead. The Nailers would then respond with a power play of their own late in regulation. Craig Armstrong one-touched a pass from Tristan Thompson to set up Scooter Bricky for a one-timer to make it 2-2 with under 4 minutes to go. Overtime solved absolutely nothing, so it moved to a shootout where the drama only ramped up. Zach Erdahl scored in the first round to give Wheeling the advantage, but Jacob Frasca kept Reading alive in the third. Both goalies, Taylor Gauthier for the Nailers and Keith Pudarelli for the Royals, traded stops in rounds 4 and 5. In round 6, Matty De St. Paul scored for Wheeling, and Nolan Burke answered for Reading. Then it was followed by 7 straight empty rounds. In the 14th round, it finally ended. Wheeling's Connor Lockhart was denied, and Reading defenseman Miles Gendorf converted his attempt to secure a 3-2 victory and an extra point for the Royals. Perdarelli was finished with 29 saves on 31 shots in regulation and overtime, then stopped 12 of 14 in the shootout. Gauthier turned aside 19 of 20 during the game and went 11 for 14 in the shootout. Let's now check out the highlights, courtesy of the Reading Royals YouTube channel.
You win a hockey game, you win a series. We're set to go at West Banco Arena. Reading left to right in the all black. Nailers right to left in their cream alternate sweaters with the yellow buckets and the black pants. The puck is down and we are underway. Sit back and enjoy Sunday early evening hockey. A rubber match with a series victory up for grabs. Eric Jess, 3 blemishes in 14 career starts. Sees his wrist shot, deflection, on goal, scores! They drew first blood 37 seconds into play Friday. They will net this one in the opening 3 minutes tonight. It's the Royals with traffic in front of Gauthier, ricochets top shelf, and a 1-0 lead. Reading striking first for the second time in this 3-game series. And from the blue line by Hatfield, it will ring the crossbar and fall into the back of the net. Starting off this Sunday affair as hot as the NASCAR's racing around Daytona on this Sunday. They'll shake it off and a run at a Royal near side, and we're going to have a drop of the gloves coming together. Liam Devlin, his first professional career fight, in relief of a charge on a Royal, defending his teammate. Needham, Massachusetts own Devlin with a takedown, and we got our 3rd fight of the weekend, and Devlin the first as a pro. Ian on the blue line will be the lone man back on this 2-on-1 shorthanded for Wheeling. Zone entry, a trailer, a shot, a save. Petrozelli fades it off with the shoulder, and that has some heat on it from Wheeling's David Brazil, who beat Peretz last night. Won't elude Petrozelli today. Raining down from the stands at West Banco Arena. Not pleased about it. Royals a perfect 4 for 4 in the penalty kill. Odd man rush for Wheeling. Down low, Petrozelli save. Rebound at the goal line. It's in. The Nailers have their answer. It's Mike Posma, native of Collegeville, Pennsylvania. McMiniman right down has Haskins. His shot top shelf. Scores! Kyle Haskins. Fist pump to the air as he drives this puck into the back of the net. Royal right shot was Armstrong. Nailers keep it in the zone. Right to left, they skate. Towing the line. It's decent foul. Drop. Blast. Wrist shot scores. Pings the post and in. Power play goal for Wheeling. We're square at 2 with 4 minutes to matter. Shot is blocked. And for a second straight series finale, and the first time this season, it's the Royals and the Nailers off to overtime. It'll be a second straight post-regulation affair going to the skills competition as we go the distance in our Sunday series finale. The victor of our 3-game set decided in shootout. As it's now another chance at a victory on the stick of Miles Gendron. Forehand shot, wires it past and ends it. Gendron, the game winner in round 14 of the shootout, gives the Royals the second point. Gauthier slashing his stick in half as the Royals slice into the margin, trailing the Nailers into the division. 2 points earned today, 4 points of a possible 6 this weekend. The Royals match the Adirondack Thunder for second in the standings, 7 points shy of Wheeling once again for the top seed in the division. And Miles Gendron, 2 goals in his last 4 games. He nets the game winner in shootout and gives the Royals a victory in the skills competition, heading back to Berks County on a 4-point weekend.
Now going to be joined by Jamie Naris from the Goldie Beacom University baseball team. Prior to college, Jamie spent 4 years at Springside Chestnut Hill Academy in Philadelphia. At SCH, Jamie was named to the All-League team and won the Interact Championship. Now at Goldie Beacom, Jamie is in his sophomore year and is batting .364 through 7 games. Earlier this season, he was named to the CACC Baseball Weekly Honor Roll and batted .455 on the week with 2 doubles, 3 RBI, and 1.261 OPS. He went 3 for 5 with 2 doubles in the season opener against Franklin Pierce before going 2 for 3 on Saturday, the next day, also versus Franklin Pierce. In addition to Goldie Beacom, last year Jamie played for the Lexington Flying Pigs, a collegiate summer ball team. With the Flying Pigs, Jamie had a batting average of .408 and a couple of home runs. Let's now take a look at James doubles from Goldie Beacon's recent trip to Cary, North Carolina. All right, and we are now joined by Jamie Naris of the Goldie Beacon baseball team. Jamie, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, brother. Glad to be here with you.
It's good to have you on the show. So we're going to kick it off. How did you first get introduced to baseball, and when did you decide that it was a sport that you wanted to pursue at a high level?
So I actually started playing baseball. I've always loved baseball. Baseball's kind of always been like my favorite sport since I was like 5 years old and could do my thing and could like watch TV and stuff. But I remember being like 12 years old and kind of all at my grandma's house the one day, like my whole family was there, and my cousin had just came back from a month-long trip in the Dominican Republic, and he was just telling all these like really dope stories about how he was having a great time over there and had all these. So I mean, from then on, I was like, yeah, that's I want to be just like that. Like I want to do everything that he just did. And then so probably around 12 is when I was like, yeah, I want to do the rest of my life.
So you're playing now in college. What does a day in the life of a college baseball player look like while you're in season?
Okay, so yeah, in season we'll lift like 3-ish times a week. And most of the time I'll get like if I can't get an 8 a.m. class in, I'll go to like a 9:30 class, and then we'll have lifts right after that at 11, and then either another class or kind of just chill until practices that usually start around 1:30-ish. We got to be like on the field. But right now we're snowed in like crazy, so we've been starting practice around like 4:35-ish.
So you mentioned the lifts. You do it about 3 times a week. What is it? What does a day in the life of a baseball player look like in the weight room?
So it's kind of one of my favorite parts about being an athlete in general. Like the science behind learning how to kind of properly program a guy has been pretty interesting. So like in season, we've kind of got into a more agility and like box jumps types of like sprints, more moving stuff fast and kind of trying to stay healthy to keep guys on the field, keep guys healthy type of stuff. Whereas like in the off season, it's like we're gonna lift weight all the time. We're gonna lift weight super heavy, and we're gonna fail a bunch. And in season, they've done a good job of kind of like monitoring workload and stuff like that, so that we can be healthy, keep getting good outputs and things like that, and still perform well on the field.
So to follow up on that last question, we're actually on the field for practice. What does that look like? What's your practice look like generally?
So usually, I think most guys will get there around 1:30-ish, but practice doesn't really start until like 2:15, 2:30. Most guys will get in there at 1:30 and do like any of their movement prep stuff. So that's like your stretching or like your T work, your flips, like little stuff like that. And then or even like ground balls, like a bunch of guys do defense in that time. And then right when we start practice, we'll get into like some type of defensive circuit, similar to what we did in school at SEH. But we'll do some type of like defensive circuit where it's like we're gonna set up pitchers and we're gonna do some type of like pickoff plays or like team defense, and then we'll jump in some type of BP. And one of like my favorite days of the week are when we get to do Bolt BP at Goldie Beacom, and it's really like we're gonna play off the hack attack live, and guys are gonna be pushing for extra bases, making diving plays in the infield or outfield. Like it gets pretty intense. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like live BP but off a pitching machine basically, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the best way to explain it. It's so much fun, bro.
It's kind of you get like that game feel a little bit,
Yeah.
but also like the pitch is gonna be a
Yeah,
hittable
exactly.
pitch.
It's the closest thing that we can get to like playing the game without blowing up one coach's arm throwing live forever or
Yeah.
something like that. But definitely like defensively, and even like we have guys running the bases too in different situations. So it's definitely fun from that standpoint as well.
When you have an at bat, a lot of people might think that the at bat starts on deck circle or in the batter's box. But what for you? When does the at bat actually really start? And kind of explain how like an at bat starts way before the on deck circle.
Yeah. So I mean, to be honest, like the at bats for me start the night before, the week before. Think that like one thing I really have gotten into, not only like the first year of college, but even my senior year in high school is like we would visualize a ton. So stuff like like a lot of the times you won't get a ton of information on the pitcher, but being able to kind of just think through like different situations. If you can imagine a field and imagine yourself being successful the night before and continue having that, um, literally up until you get into the at bat is really beneficial. At least like being able to be there in complete silence in my own head, just like imagining myself being successful. Even the night before is usually I'll start at bats with call.
Yeah, 'cause there's so much like mental stuff that goes into baseball,
So much.
especially hitting. And
Yeah.
any advantage you can get over a pitcher, like it takes a lot more preparation for a hitter, I feel like, than the pitcher.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely difficult for both, but I would say as a hitter, it's like having the stigma that hey, we're gonna fail 7 times out of 10
Yeah,
is definitely like a thing. It's like I don't want to think about that while I'm
yeah.
hitting. So trying to see myself be successful as many times as possible before I even step in the box is real. And like I said, that visualization, literally up until I'm the last thing I think about before this guy throws a pitch is me like hitting a homer to dead center field or something like that, just to keep me looking right.
You guys just got back from a road trip in Cary, North Carolina at the USA Baseball facilities. Kind of generally, what does a away trip look like for your?
So usually, you kind of so like this weekend we were down there for I think it was 2 nights. We got down there Thursday. We were there Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, and then we were supposed to play Sunday, but got banged because of rain. But usually we'll get up pretty early and get the bus going. This weekend we were out by around 8 ish. We'll get out of here by 8. Stop at the Wawa, and they'll give us like meal money so we can go like get a bunch of food there. Then we'll head down North Carolina. It's like about an 8 hour ride, and they'll try to just rip that straight. Like we will drive as much of it as possible straight. And then we got down there this time, and we actually got to train indoors, which was pretty dope. After that, we got dinner, and then from then on, you go to bed, and it's like, all right, when do we play baseball? So like we went to bed that night, and the next morning we had BP on field, the game right after that, and then that day we actually had a doubleheader. So played doubleheader, came home, ate dinner, went to bed, and then the next morning, like more baseball. So it's pretty fun.
What's it like balancing baseball and academics during a long season, like with all these road trips, games? How do you balance the academics as well as baseball?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. I would say that I'm at a smaller school, so that's definitely an advantage for me, being able to like get to know all my teachers and let them know that, hey, I'm going to be playing baseball and I'm going to be missing some classes, but I'm going to do everything I can to kind of balance both of them. But it's definitely tough. But I would say that having the ability to talk to teachers and be like, hey, like just let it be known that those things are happening is kind of the best thing to do. But I would definitely say it's tough. I would definitely say it's tough, especially when things like midterms and like I have a midterm coming up on Thursday. It just got moved back. It was supposed to be on Tuesday, but it just got moved back because of the snowstorm that we just had. So stuff like that definitely plays a toll.
I've seen you play a lot of baseball games, obviously through high school. But how would you personally describe your style of play, and what do you think sets you up on the field?
Uh, so I would say, dude, I don't know. I would say I'm just a grinder, bro. Like I love the game of baseball. So like I'm gonna work really hard. It's gonna be tough to outwork me because I'm gonna work really, really hard, and I'm really confident in the stuff I'm doing when I'm out there. So, and when I'm not playing well, it's probably because I'm not really confident or something like that. So I'd say I'm pretty confident in the stuff I'm doing because I work so hard, and I would like to say that like the homer potential is always there, and potential to change the game on either side of of the ball is always there too. So,
Are there any coaches that you've had throughout your career that have left a big impact on you, and if so, what sets them apart?
oh my gosh, I every coach that I've ever like has definitely played a role in my development. I'd say like one of the first coaches I ever had was my cousin, and he was like the catalyst for everything that anyone who I ever talked to, I'm like, yeah, that's the guy who taught me how to play baseball, and he's the reason I'm playing baseball because nobody played baseball in my family other than him. So definitely my cousin, the way he was like intentional with the things we were doing, the way he set up the programs for us to, we didn't really even know what we were doing. Really, he was like 19 or 20 trying to teach me how to play baseball, and I was like 12, so I'm following this guy because he looks like he knows what he's doing. So definitely him, but also through my years. Coach Steve Bandora has been like one of the biggest miracles that have ever come into my life with the way he believed in me as a kid who wasn't really good at baseball, but kind of just was working hard, because it was a way to get out of the neighborhood, he was in, like stuff like that was really cool. And then also like Chase Miller at a center athlete, Coach Kramer at a center athlete, like all those guys have been super beneficial to my life and super beneficial to like my mental and physical development, along with all the guys at SC, Coach Mike, Coach Ben, Coach Ish, all those guys like have been amazing for me. Like great role models, people that I can call whenever things are going bad, people that I can call about life or call about baseball. It's definitely like huge shout out to all those guys who helped me to where I am.
You've played a lot of baseball games throughout your life. Can you walk us through your pregame routine? What does Jamie Naris do before a game?
Dude, pregame has changed a ton. Like I feel like pregame is kind of depends on the day, the how many games we have played, stuff like that. But I think for me, like a good pregame routine, I'm gonna get to the field. I'll throw on like if it's warm out, hopefully it's warm out, and I kind of like get on the dirt or on the grass, like with no shoes or anything, kind of just find that like peace within my own head for a little bit, slow my heart rate down. That's kind of where that visualization. But then after that, it's like I'm gonna put my kits on. I'm gonna go through some daily stuff with my gloves to kind of get my defense locked in. Then I'll head down to the batting cage, do some like flips or something like that to get me dialed in, and then kind of start warming up, starting to get my body like ready to jump, ready to move, stuff like that. So I can kind of go play baseball.
And then, are there any pregame rituals or superstitions that you do before every game?
Uh, I wouldn't say like superstitions that I do, but I've definitely started praying before every game. Like that's the thing that I've been very like I guess have a ritual like being able to kind of center myself in my head, in my like religion, like knowing that the result that comes out of the game are not going to define who I am personally. Kind of like being able to surrender myself to God's plan and knowing that that doesn't always mean success, but in the end, it's going to be at the end of the day. So that's kind of where I've landed with that.
What's the biggest difference you've noticed between high school and college baseball? You've got a full year of college baseball and some games this year under your belt. What's like the
Yeah.
biggest difference you've noticed?
Biggest difference is kind of I'd say attention to detail. Like baseball's a game that kind of is going to evolve as you go, and the attention to detail is kind of what keeps at least me like in the right headspace. Like you're gonna fail a ton. Like last year, I started off really slow. Like I think I was go for my first like 20 or something like that, and being able to like trust the process and trust like the people around me to like successful is kind of where I've been being able to just be intentional with the things we do pregame, trusting the process kind of keeps
You
stuff that
committed
I didn't
the
really know how to do in high school though. Kind of like I'm still learning how to do.
yeah. You committed the Goldie Beacom prior to senior year, correct?
Yeah, I believe it was August, like right, like kind of right before senior year.
Okay. So it obviously seems like it's been a great fit for you so far, but what ultimately led you to choose Goldie Beacom and what makes that program feel like the right fit for you?
Yeah. So I was actually lucky enough to this was like my only offer coming out of high school. So it wasn't really too much of a difficult decision for me. It was like I'm gonna go somewhere where they believed in me and they thought that I could be a good fit for the program. Another thing, but I mean, along with that, there was definitely like an option to go the JUCO route, and I know that's like the hot thing to do right now. So definitely like something I was thinking about. But I actually trusted in the Bible, bro. At the end of the day, like that's kind of where I've when anything's going wrong, I'll kind of just stick my head in the Bible and kind of have an idea of what I want to do. But at the end of the day, like ask the Lord to give me the guidance to give me what I should be doing. And that's kind of where I landed. And then when I got here, the coaching staff was just like very open to the things that I had already been doing and the programs that I had set up in my own head with Ascent and things like that. And they kind of like let me run free. And that's that for me, that was like the biggest thing. Like these people are gonna trust in the things that I've done before and the experience that I've had in the weight room, in on the field and things like that. So they're just gonna let me be in that aspect. And they have a ton of fun playing baseball here. So that's always the best thing.
That's what it seems like. I've seen like some of the stuff you've reposted. It seems like you guys
Yeah.
have like a ton of fun.
Exactly.
And
That's like that was their biggest selling point to like any recruit. It was like, dude, we're gonna have a ton on playing baseball, and we have a lot of fun when we're winning, so we're gonna do that as much as possible. And that's kind of like one of the biggest things that I've like felt since being here. Like we've created a culture and an environment where we're gonna fail every day in the weight room, but we're gonna do it together, and then we're gonna get on the field and we're gonna compete like hell. Doesn't matter who's on the other side. Like we're gonna go up against a nameless, faceless opponent every day, and we're just gonna give them.
And then there's a kind of going circling to that recruiting process. Right now, there's so much talk about like with high schoolers in the recruiting process, the transfer portal. Did that affect you at all? You feel like during your recruiting process, and if so, how?
Say it again. The question was
The
on the
transfer
transfer
portal,
portal.
like affecting
Okay.
the high school recruit process. Like, did that play a role for or not really?
I wouldn't say it played like a huge role for me. It was definitely something that had like come up in a couple conversations, but like at the end of the day, those are things that I can't even control. So like stressing over stuff like that was definitely like not something I was trying to do. It's definitely like a thing though. Like when I got here, I think there were two or three other transfers that had come in, and even this year we got like another transfer too. So like it's definitely something that's like continue affecting everyone. But it's something that I didn't really take the time to worry about, knowing that I can really control it.
I feel like so. It sounds like most of the guys at Goldie Beacom are like recruited as freshmen. Correct?
Yeah,
Is that accurate?
I would definitely say most of us are recruited as freshmen. Yeah.
With the
There's say it again?
no, yeah, continue.
Yeah, so I'd say most of us were recruited as freshmen. And that's one of the things I like so much. Like these guys are going to start college with me, and we're kind of going to all learn to become men within baseball and without a baseball. Like we're just kind of learn together and kind of build those bonds together.
Like if you look at UCLA, who's currently ranked #1 in like Division 1,
Yeah.
most of their team was recruited out of high school, started as freshmen, now they're juniors. They've just all been playing to each other, and that's now they went from not being very good a couple years ago to being the #1 team in the country. I feel like the way like Goldie Beacom is building a program, like yeah, here and there you have a transfer that can add something to the team, but I feel like it's definitely the way that teams should start moving because
Of
it
course.
just looks like when you build a culture, you have so much more success.
Yeah, those homegrown guys that can kind of be the cornerstones of what your program is like super evident when I came to this program. Like when I came in, I saw how close knit all the seniors were, close knit all the other guys were. It was like, yeah, these guys came here together and grew together through the program, through all the win, through all the losing. Like these guys were in it together.
Another thing that sounded like a lot of fun. This past summer, you played with the Lexington Flying Pigs, which is a great name, by the way, for a
Yeah.
team. But what was that experience like for you? And can you kind of explain like who the Flying Pigs are?
So the Lexington Flying Pigs are a team in the old North State League. So they are in Lexington, North Carolina, and down there, somebody that was one of the biggest, like in total collegiate leagues, like with the amount of teams and like different regions we have. Um, but yeah, bro, it was so much fun. I actually got that like opportunity through one of the outfielders that I was really close with here at Goldie Beacom. He had played there before. But yeah, we set that up, and that was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had in my life. Being able to go to somewhere that is completely different from North Philadelphia and be surrounded with baseball, country music, lakes that are able to be swam in. Like you can swim in those lakes and not like get weird. Like it was so much fun being out there, like seeing the different culture of people. It was awesome. I
Is it
remember like
just
the
like the
first two
middle of
weeks,
North
me
Carolina?
and my dad were out there and we were like, why are these people being so nice? What the heck's going on?
Is it just like the middle of North Carolina,
I
like
think so.
Lexington?
I never really looked at it on a map, but it seemed there's no like yeah, it's got to be like the middle of North Carolina, bro. It was so much fun. Like there's a ton of land everywhere. Like the neighbor had a goats and like huge dogs everywhere. Like it was so much fun. My host family had pigs, chickens, and like literally like a bunch of animals. It was so much fun. Like those people, and I'm going back this year too, just because I had so much fun last year.
There you
And I'm
go.
taking one of the guys from Goldie and another guy from a Sen athlete that are gonna come play with me in North Carolina. But that experience was awesome. Like I love those my host family. I love all those people. I love my coaches down there. I love the other host families that were cheering us on. It was so much fun. I loved it.
I was gonna ask, how does like the host family thing work for the college summer teams?
I mean, bro, it was definitely weird like going into it because my family at least was like, they're just gonna let you go live in their house for the whole summer. What the like it was definitely weird going into it, but it was I awesome, bro. Like I got to there was a trailer that I lived in across from my buddy, and it was basically like we were roommates for all the summer. It was It was like I got a little brother and a little sister and a bunch of like free reign to go. Like they had the fishing like across the street. There was a bunch of stuff to go do. So it was along with all the baseball we played. There's a bunch of like culture that we could have gotten into that was super fun, bro. Like cheer wine, like I tried cheer wine for the first time. A bunch of southern food, like it was great. I love it.
So it sounds like this is definitely like a good baseball memory for you. But what would you say your favorite baseball memory is?
Um, yeah, I mean, dude, I would say my favorite baseball memories, we'll say, was definitely like playing that summer with a Sen athlete, like right before we were all getting recruited and stuff like that, just like being
Hmm.
around with the boys. And then also like that summer just being like completely out in North Carolina. Like that's something that most people don't even get the opportunity to do. Like having that opportunity was awesome. I'd say like that summer with the Sun athlete and building all those memories with those guys that I love, and if I ever get married, will be at my wedding was definitely there. And then with being in North Carolina, like with all those guys, like I had teammates from Canada, I had teammates from Florida. It was nuts. Like it was wild. So definitely those two are something that I think about all the time.
If you could send a message to a younger baseball player who has the goal of playing in college or just even playing baseball like at a higher level than let's say middle school, what would your message to them be?
Poof. So I would definitely say like it's more mental than you think, bro. Like a lot of people say it's really mental, but I don't even think the like mental development that I gained from that freshman year last year was way more uh vital to my personal development than like, any baseball. So like getting better at being alone in your own thoughts without any music, without anything like how good can you get at envisioning and being delusional about your own success? Because unfortunately no one's gonna dream as big as you can dream for yourself. So like definitely that and work hard, bro. Like work hard is going to be like a backbone for me. Like when all things are going wrong, it's like, well, I worked really hard today. At least I can lean back on the fact that I worked really hard. So working hard and get good at being alone, bro. Because unfortunately, baseball is a lonely sport. As much as big as it are, like when I go hit, I got to be the only one hitting right now. Like I got to be good with my own thoughts. So definitely there.
That batter's box is its own little island. There's nobody else
Yeah,
out
dude,
there.
it's a lonely island sometimes, bro. When you're up there and you got 3 Ks already and you're on your with that bat, it's like, oh man, no one's really thinking of much success for you, so you got to do it for yourself, bro.
You can't see the other islands across the ocean. It's a little foggy.
Yeah, for real, bro. It's real foggy sometimes.
And then finally, we ask this question every week. I get like a leaderboard on the screen soon. We don't have it yet, but what's your go-to hype song? The leader in the clubhouse right now is Dreams and Nightmares.
Dude, bro, Dreams and Nightmares is definitely a banger. And then being from Philly, bro, definitely a banger. But I definitely listen to just Spanish music. So
Okay.
like all the like Voy a llevarte pa PR by Bad Bunny. That's like a song off his new amazing. I love it, bro.
Okay.
Like if I'm ever down, like I'm on that, bro.
Was that
Uh,
one in the Super Bowl show?
I think it probably wasn't. Yeah, it was the Super Bowl. Exactly. It was awesome, bro. I loved it. Like that song's probably where I'm gonna go if I'm ever down. But even like being out in North Carolina, like I listen to a bunch of Morgan Wallen songs. Like "Falling Apart" was a great song, which is like a sad song, bro, but it gets you going every time. Like I love that music, bro.
Nice. Well, it was good to talk to you, Jamie. Thanks for coming on the show. Hopefully,
Hell yeah, brother. It's good seeing you,
it's
dog.
good to see you too. Hopefully, we can get you on again next year.
Yeah, bro. Awesome, bro. Hopefully, I have like a natty title or like a Player of
Yeah.
the Year to show you.
Yeah, you put the trophies up in the background next time.
Yeah. We'll put it on the background or something.
All right. Well, best of luck finishing out this season and into next season. Thanks for
Awesome,
joining us
brother.
today.
Thank you. Appreciate you, dog.
Have a good one, Jamie. That will do it for us here on the Game Time Sports Show today. Thank you to everyone in the back for all their help producing the show. From the teleprompter, TriCaster, audio, graphics, all of it. I really appreciate all the help that I get with all of these shows. It wouldn't be possible without the guys in the back who you don't see every time. But thank you for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed the show. And tune in next Tuesday at 5 p.m. We'll be right back here on the Game Time Sports Show. Actually, no, we won't be back next Tuesday because it's going to be spring break. The studio will be closed. But in 2 Tuesdays, we'll be back 5 p.m. Eastern right here on the same places you're watching or listening to today. Have a great night, everybody.